everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. Both teams come into today's game with a track record of getting it done through the air. Both rank in the top 10 in passing TDs. It's the Jaguars going up against the Steelers. The towels are out, but it's set to be a cold one at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. And that's where we'll say hello to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, despite the elements, these fans here in western Pennsylvania, they wouldn't dream of missing this one as you get a look inside snowy Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Today, it's week 12 of the NFL season, and we've got a good one in store between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Now look at the starting unit, and here's to you, Mr. Robinson.
Oh, I like that one. Allen Robinson, I loved coming out of Penn State. Everyone kept telling me he's not fast enough. And I kept pointing to the film and saying, yes, but he catches everything. He's definitely a threat.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. Wide open receiver complete. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Bridgewater on first down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. Give him 13 on the pickup there. And the Jags are going to have a first down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Throwing is Bridgewater. That is caught. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And they'll turn their power game to try to get in. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. It's the fullback. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. Or these may be an adventure this afternoon, but this one is good. Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So the D-line's going to spread out. They come out here in the eye. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Yes, that's today's NFL defensive tackle. Not just a space eater anymore. A guy with agility, movement skills, who can rush the passer and make plays in the offensive backfield.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. All right, here we go.
And they're going to go soft on the corners. Now they try the right side here. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Time for the offensive starters now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and a guy to watch out wide, Sammy Coates.
A slow start in his rookie season, only caught 1 pass in 2015. They're expecting much bigger things from him, trying to help out that offense. If he can get open, you know his quarterback will find him.
Now a handoff looking right. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8. And we take you through the starting defense for Jacksonville.
Telvin Smith is a college safety who's transitioned very well to outside linebacker in the NFL. He runs down most plays.
Bryant with a catch right side. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it's good enough for a Jacksonville first.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Get ready.
Throwing again. Bridgewater on 2nd and 10. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Bud Dupree. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that? He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Bridgewater. They'll roll him out right. And that is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So a second down incompletion now brings up third down. Play fake. Bridgewater. And he fires one, but incomplete. Marquise Lee, the intended target. And now it's fourth down. So on fourth down, here's Brad Nortman on to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. A beautiful fake. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And possession will switch hands, first and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They come out here in the eye.
All right, here we go. Leopard.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Great play there off the end. Question, Charles, in a 4-3, you hear about the D tackles a lot. What's the role of the ends?
What they want to do is control the edges of the defense. And you always hear about an offense talking about setting the edge in the running game. Well, the defense wants to do exactly the same thing. And the defensive end, often against an offensive tackle, sometimes a tight end, they can't let themselves get hooked and let a running back get outside. Because if they do that, that hurts the integrity of the defense overall.
My man, the encyclopedia. Back to throw now on second and 10. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough third and long coming up. And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Looking to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Telvin Smith coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be fourth down. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a second and 7.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
To throw, Bridgewater. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On first and 10, Bridgewater. He's going to sling this deep downfield. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, They have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Completes it to Lee. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Jaguars. Marquise Lee, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Back to throw now on 1st down. He's going to air one out. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10.
Now let's go. Let's go. Green 39.
Now back to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
He completes it to Bryant. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. 11 yards on the pickup, and the Steelers are going to have a 1st down.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calais Campbell on the stop. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Black 99 Philly, here we go.
They come out here in the eye.
Blue 90. Watch it now, Barney. Barney. All right, let's go. Over. Gun.
And to give this time to the tailback. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
No gain on that run.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter.
Set.
And they'll put Bryant in motion left. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. His throw caught at about the 5. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. And let's not take for granted, in these conditions, that's never an easy pass and catch.
You really got to find a way to drive the ball. Get your grip. That's why we see some of the guys now that put the gloves on when they throw the ball in this type of a condition. Sometimes the glove might make it too slippery. So you got to figure out what's going to work for you. But how about the receivers? Looking back and trying to locate the ball coming through snow and making sure they have full concentration.
Detroit! Hurry up, here we go. Blue landing.
Time to step aside. Back to Heinz Field after this. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
Over. Watch it now, Barney. Here we go now. 3-19. Leopard.
Now they'll put a receiver in motion left. Second and goal as the offense looks to try to punch it in. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Sammy Coates with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers have now made this a one-score game. And it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Bridgewater, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking. But the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. They'll set up to throw. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. And it's 3rd and 4. Let's see what the defense dials up here. 3rd and 4.
All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green. Watch it now, Barney. Over. Watch it now, Barney. Green, 39. Green, 39.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
Bridgewater to throw it. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Tag
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
Second down, Bridgewater. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. His sixth touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half. But tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little...
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And they're going to go soft on the corners.
All right, here we go. Green. Detroit! Detroit!
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He gets it to Brown. Complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
Hurry up, here we go. All right, now, look at 56. Look at...
They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play.
Let's go.
But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Muscles him off. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you now to Orlando to check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, LR. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But
this
you're going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. 18 yards on the pickup there. And it'll give the Steelers a first down.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He gets it complete to Harris. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end. Take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
No, check, Patriot, Patriot. No, check, Patriot, Patriot.
He'll drop to throw. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Here we go. Leopard!
Back to throw again. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
So now it's 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look, 6 DBs. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And James has it. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up in the top shelf where the kids can't get it. In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Watch it now, Barney! Go! Here we go! 3-19!
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. Sammy Coates, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. Bridgewater on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll make it 2nd and short.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. Bridgewater to throw it. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. Now 4th down.
I know that interception was dropped, and it would have been their 3rd of the game, and I will guarantee you, in the huddle, on the bench, all the defensive guys have been talking about is, we've got this guy right where we want him. Who's going to get the next one? It almost becomes a challenge, and they missed a golden opportunity.
Fielded at the 20. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Here we go. Blue 90.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be third down at about the length of the football.
Flex round.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on third down.
Patriot. Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
Every game plan meeting I ever sat in as a player, 3 and out was emphasized like crazy because obviously I play defense. So get off the field, win third down. They did, but let's be honest about it. They had some help on that one.
They had some help indeed on that drop. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
10 yards still left on second down.
Let's go.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. The reception good for 7. It's third down. So here we go, a third down after the second down pass completion. They'll come out in the pistol. Third and short yardage, Bridgewater. And Brate, the tight end's got it. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up fourth down. Here's Brad Nordman now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. A defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
Back 99 Philly. Here we go. Hurry up. Here we go. Detroit. Back 99 Philly. Here we go.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Finding time. He's going to air one out, and this will be caught at the 30. They get 39 yards out of that one, and it's good enough. Down. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
They'll come out in the pistol. And he goes in motion here in the backfield.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Over.
Back to throw now on first down. And Bryant's got it over the middle. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
Here we go now. Leopard.
And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
All right, now look at 56. Here we go now. 56. Green 39. Watch him now, Barney.
They'll look to throw now on first down. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a second down. And the offense moving quickly to the line.
Here we go now. Green 30. Leopard. Watch him now, Barney. All right, here we go. Green, 99 Philly. Here we go. Over.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Bryant with a catch right side. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Boswell for the extra point. And it's no good. My goodness, his 3rd miss of the game here on a PAT. And wouldn't you know it, that's the difference in this game right now. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. And Brake has it over the middle. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. A good convergence there defensively. Only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
2nd down, Bridgewater. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. Really nice little connection there. They go with the corner route, and it works out well.
And the best way to set up the corner route is to throw slants throughout the ball game so that when you're able to get back outside, the defender has to respect the inside game.
Again, we'll see the pistol here. And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. Looking deep downfield. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Time is starting to run out, really becoming a factor. We'll see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back to the offense. On third down, Bridgewater. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
Here's the Jaguar kick team now as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Steelers. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. Gonna give this time to the tailback. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 on the gain there. And the Steelers are going to have a first down.
All right, it's football 101 to know that the quarterback controls just about everything on offense, but a lot of times what gets missed is that the center controls line play. He has to communicate to the guards and the tackles what type of front they're facing, how they're going to block it, and what adjustments need to be made sometimes on the fly as a defense will shift. Give the center a lot of credit because for the most part, he's got big defensive linemen over his face all game long that he's got to try and block and protect his quarterback and create space for his runner. In this case, he did a really nice job of communicating and executing.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They come out here in the eye. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now a handoff here to his running back. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield.
The defense won that play so fast that I think if the running back even had time to notice if anyone was there, it was just a blink of an eye, and there was a loss on the play.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
3-19.
Back to throw. It's caught by Bryant. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Jags grab it. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably.
And the Steelers signal for another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Flush to his right. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target, and it's third down. Seven yards remaining here on third down.
Set. Wide 80. Four. Two jet. Two jet. Tiger. Tiger.
Now Bridgewater. And that's complete to Lewis. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Get ready. Wide 90. Tiger. Two jet. Two jet.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Another pistol look here. Here's a carry now for Mike Gillisley. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of one. And they'll try for it here on fourth. Bridgewater and company stay out there. Oh, partner, there's something special about a game in the snow. Just always fun in these elements, although a little chillier up here in the open-air booth. The only thing that's not fun is that we got the mid-game notification that our flight was canceled tonight, but we'll deal with that later. It was really a fun game to watch, though.
It was, and there is something special about games played in the snow because the element of surprise really kicks in. You don't know how they're going to handle the ball, if someone's going to make a dramatic play just out of nowhere, and all of a sudden it just changes the course of things. But a big shout out to our crew to make sure that we were comfortable up here, as comfortable as one could be. In these elements, they took care of us and made sure we were dressed properly.
So for Jacksonville, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the LA Rams. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they go down to defeat for just the second time in 11 games so far. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we sign off from Heinz Field.